Uh, Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today uh, on the webinar on CFA program and available scholarships. The webinar is organized as part of our webinar series we organized to educate everyone on the CFA program and then available scholarships and other opportunities. You may already aware that CFA program is a prestigious designation offered by the CFA Institute upon the completion of the CFA program, and it considered as a gold standard qualification in the finance and investment industry. So today's session, we plan to conduct as a conversation session, and we are very pleased that we have Mr. Nuwan Jayawardena, the CFA, who is a University Outreach Committee Chair, and also he's a Director of Investment Research at Equity Knowledge Partners. So we will do is I will moderate some questions for Nuwan so that his answers will be useful to you for you to understand the CFA program and then the available scholarships. So with that, I would like to kick off the session. Nuwan, shall we start the session?
Sure, Aruna. You can get started.
You may want to switch on your video.
Is it not visible?
It's visible.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
So Nuwan, I thought to first of all ask you a question on looking at the bigger picture of the CFA Institute, whether you could start sharing the mission of the CFA Institute and how it supports both professional and the financial industry.
Sure, Aruna. First of all, very good evening to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today. I think we'll spend about, roughly 1 hour, maybe slightly more than that, if there's a lot of interest in terms of, additional questions. But I think, it's very important that we got this opportunity to speak to you all about, the CFA qualification. Some of you may be, in a university, through your degree program, or some of you who are joining could also be, already working. And however, having the same sort of, ambition of, building a more sort of, a lucrative career in the future, and especially in the field of finance. So if that is your intention, for you to be somebody who's absolutely successful in this, challenging time of, global economy, you have come to the right place to get right information at a very important time. So as Aruna said, CFA is the world's leading qualification for investment professionals. So the objective of the CFA Institute is to promote higher standards of ethics, education, and professional excellence for the ultimate benefit of the society. So it focuses heavily on building that individual or the professional who's founded in ethics and professional skills, and also combine that with financial markets that operates efficiently and ethically to deliver a best platform for financial markets globally, to deliver the best results for investors and all who are involved in especially in the capital market space. So if you take CFA qualification, it's a unique force within the investment profession. It's a as an organization, it's a global not-for-profit organization. It is the world's largest association of investment professionals. It's basically it's industry leaders promoting the highest standards of ethics, education, and professional excellence. It has a vast global network of members. We'll get to details later. Societies and relationships with key financial organizations around the world. That's
Yeah.
quickly about the mission of the CFA Institute.
Sure, Noah. So I think you rightly mentioned that as you rightly mentioned, the CFA Institute is a global body. And would you like to sort of explain about the global reach of CFA Institute and how it impacts the finance profession on an international scale?
Sure, Aruna. So as I said, this is a truly a global qualification. If you go back, a little bit into the history of the CFA qualification, how it came about is actually originated in US, in New York, in Wall Street. The first, CFA exams were held, I think, in 1968 or so. I don't remember the exact year, but somewhere there. And since then, it has grown from, numbers to numbers, and it has grown pretty much, across the world. Right now, you can see in this, slide that, CFA members are pretty much there, all geographies across the world. The largest, persons is in Americas, where we have, 57% of the membership based there. And in terms of number of candidates, there are 48,000 candidates taking the CFA qualification right now, and there are about 92 societies in that region. And when it comes to EMEA, leading markets like UK and other related, European markets, there are about, 22% of the membership, from that region. Similarly, Asia Pac, we have another close to 21% of the membership there. However, this is, one of our fastest growing, region. So China was, for example, the fastest growing region for, quite a while, but now, India is actually overtaking that. So similarly in Sri Lanka also, despite having gone through, the currency crisis and all difficulties, we see our membership numbers, rather than membership numbers, the student numbers growing, and we expect this momentum to pick up even more as the country stabilizes and the students especially get more access to funding, and also obviously the awareness like this to for them to get more interested in doing CFA future.
Sure. So, Nuwan, I think, thanks. I think I'm just wondering whether to add to that, whether you could mention about the CFA Institute strategies, because those strategies will help to advance the CFA Institute member growth. If you can briefly mention
Sure.
about those strategies. Yes.
Sure. If I just quickly mention about it, the strategy of the CFA Institute and the outcomes it expect is basically to shape the future of industry and the profession. CFA has always been in the frontier of coming up with improving it, the curriculum, and bringing in relevant topics, relevant subjects to ensure that there's proper founding in the professionals that the institute produce to further the growth of the industry. It also intend to build a diverse portfolio of learning products. If you in fact go to the CFA website and look through the related programs that CFA offers, there's a multitude of related sort of learning products that the CFA Institute offers that helps anyone starting with CFA to add more and more expertise and skills into their repertoire of, capabilities to stay up to date on, what's happening around the world, new developments. For example, um, artificial intelligence, machine learning is very, very important for any professional or anyone for that matter in today's context. So if you go to CFA website and look for these incremental learning products, there's a lot being introduced to help CFA chart holders sort of stay on top of their game, despite all the changes that are happening. Similarly, CFA also has what you call a ESG certificate, which is also in very high demand. So that's also an area that is growing very fast, especially if you look at Europe. There's so much of sort of emphasis on the social, environmental, social, and governance factors. Social impact. People are now, especially in that region, and other developed world, have moved beyond looking at one bottom line, just looking at profits, but also seriously look at the social impact and the environmental impact that the organizations deliver. And that also very important from any analyst and investors point of view to understand the risk return relationship of the investment that they go into. So like that, there's a lot of new products being offered. And then and of course, the other angle, the aspect of the CFA strategy is to modernize and grow the CFA program. So as I said, they continue to invest. There's so much of sort of surveys being done. They regularly involve all charter holders, practicing charter holders from a diverse sort of expertise and experiences to continue to provide feedback on what's happening in the industry, what are the challenges that they are facing in terms of their technical skill set, and other areas of expertise that they need. And then CFA ensures that those changes are incorporated either into the syllabus to sort of improve the syllabus itself, or incorporate these related products to sort of facilitate those requirements.
Thank you, Nuwan. I think I'm sure the strategies of the CFA Institute helping to develop the CFA qualification as a gold standard. Do you think you can explain to about about what it represent and also in the industry?
Sure. No, absolutely, Aruna. So CFA qualification, as Aruna said, it's the most sought after qualification for investment professionals. In fact, it's the gold standard of qualifications, professional qualifications for investment professionals. It is very well recognized across the world. Any organization, you take any leading financial institutions around the world, one of the key qualifications they look for when they hire, for example, say for an investment team, for a sell side research team, maybe treasury operations, wealth management, private equities, hedge funds. CFA would be one of the most sought after, qualifications that they would look for. Similarly, CFA is very well recognized among institutional investors, basically, asset owners of the world, pension funds and, other, related institutions, investment managers, asset managers, investment consultants. CFA is also highly recognized by the regulators around the world. It is also considered as an alternative for some of the regulatory certifications required in some parts of the world. So if you have done your CFA, then they'll waive the requirement to do some of the regulatory sort of certifications. Similarly, across universities, there are a large number of affiliated universities around the world that recognize the CFA qualification. In Sri Lanka also we have about, I think, 8 to 9 such degree programs right now with affiliation with the the CFA program, which also facilitate or avail student scholarships to those departments. So it's one of the most sought after and recognized qualifications around the world. In fact, it's called the passport to a global career in finance.
Sure. Thank you, Nuan. So as we move on, I would like to ask those who have connected with us, if you have any question, to put it on the chat box, and we will try to give you the answers. So this is the starting point of sort of describing about the CFA qualification, and then we'll move on to to describe about the available scholarships. So with that question, Nuan, I mean, one way of describing well about the CFA program and the available scholarship is to see whether you could share a success story of a CFA charter holder. Uh, do you think you could share a story, a quick story, quick brief about someone who has succeeded with the CFA program by obtaining the scholarships, etc.?
Absolutely, Aruna. So let me jump into this slide. So the gentleman you see here is Dihan Udugampala. He's a CFA charter holder, probably one of the youngest guys to get the charter, at least in Sri Lanka. He was from accounting department, Japura. Um, he I think he started his CFA when he was in the university in his latter part of his final year. He was also interning with the Kuti Knowledge Partners at that time. And then he passed his level 1 with a scholarship, with a what you call the access scholarship for level 1. He completed it successfully, then went on to do his level 2. I think he was just passing out of the university when he did level 2 again with the scholarship, as I remember. And then soon after that he did his level 3 uh, and and uh, and completed it as well. So I think he did all this. He completed all 3 exams in a span of, I think, 18 months, which was sort of a record speed in completing all 3 exams. And after that, he was very successful in Equity Knowledge Partners. He was promoted up to a senior associate. He started as an intern, as I said. And then he was later on, offered a scholarship from UK Cambridge College for a master's degree, and right now he's pursuing it there. So somebody that everyone, especially in the university system, can look up to. He's also a product of Sri Lankan university system, which attracts the top talent through multiple competitive exams from your O levels to then obviously the A levels as the final sort of hurdles. So there's so much of Dihans, I'm sure, out there, even among the people who are listening to us right now. I'm sure there are a few of you who can sort of look to sort of pursue a career and professional path similar to Dihan's. I know some people think that CFA is a very difficult exam. I would say that it is a myth. Anyone who has had the capability, has had the commitment, focus to pass their all A levels and get selected to the university, I am sure if they put in a similar effort, they can get through CFA qualifications as well. In fact, passing CFA, if you put in the effort, if you because CFA tells you exactly what you need to know, what you need to learn, and how you need to sort of, know them for you to be able to pass them, or sort of, answer the whatever the multiple choice questions that comes up in the exam. So if you put in that relevant, effort and the time, you can all pass it. And if you do it, the way that the CFA qualification is structured and how eligibility criteria have been, sort of relaxed now, it's actually very beneficial for the, undergraduates to sort of fit it in alongside, their university sort of, exam schedules, to manage it effectively, to complete, at least one level of the CFA qualification by the completion of their degree, so that, they are in a brilliant place when they, want to, get a, internship. They can go to the most leading companies in Sri Lanka, and, basically easily get an opportunity to get in.
Thanks, Nuan. I think it's a good case study, good story. If someone wants to follow, if someone is interested, we can always connect Dihan to learn more from him. So I think we should now come to the crux of the matter. Nuan, do you think you can explain about the CFA program? As you know, there are three levels, and then what are those three levels, and what are the subjects covered under the CFA program?
Sure, sure. I think, most of the subjects listed here should be familiar for, most people who are here. So you need, your degrees, you are most likely to come across, some of these topics. So how CFA is structured is that, as Aruna said, it has three levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. In, in each of these levels, you can see at the center, there's focus on ethics and professional standards. So there's huge amount of emphasis on ethics and professional standards placed by CFA on its curriculum. Obviously, for a functioning of, successful functioning of any capital markets, there it should function, on, based on ethics and, professional conducts, and it's similarly relevant for each individual if they want to be successful, in the investment management, investment professional. So ethics is core part of, each of the levels. And then level 1, you will see various investment tools being taught at the beginning, including quantitative methods, economics, financial statement analysis, and corporate issuers. So quantitative methods, it won't be the very basics of quantitative method. So similarly, economics, you will have to have a basic knowledge of that when you start CFA. But if you don't have that basic qualification, still, nothing to worry. I know ample people who even come from, sometimes electrical engineering background, who have gone on to, successfully, complete the CFA as their first finance related qualification. So you can learn them. CFA curriculum itself have separate, sort of modules to sort of introduce a basic level of quantitative methods and economics as well. So financial statement analysis, obviously you'll be familiar with income statement, balance sheet, and um, cash flow statement of companies, and how to, sort of understand their interrelationships, how they sort of, communicate to each other, and how you sort of get the message out of, some of the movements in these numbers, is what basically help any investment professional understand the businesses that you sort of, get into. So corporate issuers, these will be basically, companies that come and issue instruments, to understand them, how they sort of, understand in terms of, evaluating them. And then there are what you call asset classes you get to learn. I'm sure you are familiar with equity investments. These are the, stocks mainly listed in the stock exchange in Colombo. You have the Colombo Stock Exchange, the S&P 500, and the, S&P 500, and the rest of the, stocks listed there. So any stock listed in a stock market is, typically considered as equity investment. So you basically get to learn about, how to sort of evaluate these equities, understand whether there are, good opportunities to invest in, whether you should buy them, you sell them, or, you should hold them, sort of the investment decision making, how you go about doing it, how you understand how it generate revenues, how it's, profitable, profit profile, the profitability profiles, risk profile, and then, understand it cash flows, to sort of derive at a, valuation for those investments. You also get to learn about fixed income. This is a very, very important, area. We don't have a lot of, bonds and, fixed income sort of actively being traded, invested in Sri Lanka. But if you take globally, this is, very big. Fixed income is actually the largest asset class. It's big also because all governments, issue treasury bonds. So any treasury bond, T-bills that we all hear today about, what central bank issues, they all come under fixed income, for you to understand how to value them, which instruments to get into for, which investment purpose, you learn all that under fixed income. So there's also, derivatives. Derivatives are, the mainly designed to design as a risk management tool, or basically for you to hedge your risk when you get into investment. For example, you want to, you get a loan, and that has let's say variable interest rate, and how you fix it so that, you don't face the risk of, fluctuations in the interest rates. You can use a, interest rate swap or a forward. There are also stuff like, caps, various options called, calls and puts, and various, what you call derivative strategies you can use to not only just manage your risk, but also to, in certain cases to make profits as well, because these derivatives moves very fast compared to equities. So some people to get, sort of make bigger returns, fast returns, sometimes get into derivatives. It's a very risky area, but if you learn these things, there are a lot of opportunities to, make out of derivative markets. And there are also alternative investments. This is a fast growing area. So within alternative investments, you have anything other than equity, fixed income, and derivatives. So that would be, your real estate investments, commodities that you invest in. There are also, renewable energy related, investments out there. You can even consider gold under here. So there's a lot of, and also private markets, private equity, venture capital, all that would be covered under alternative, investments. You learn all those, now by when you cover the investment tools and the asset classes, now you have a comprehensive knowledge about, what investment products and opportunities out there, and how you analyze them, how you analyze, one against the other, whether you, have build a portfolio of, equity investments, or you combine it with, equity and fixed income, and how you use derivatives to manage, risk return relationship, and how do you bring in, a little bit of alternatives if you want to, further diversify your portfolio. And then you know use these, quantitative methods, your economics, financial analysis to basically, analyze each of these, opportunity. For example, you decided, right, okay, I need to, invest in Tesla. It has gone up now about $300 already, especially with, the election results in US, with Trump winning and Elon Musk being one of his close supporters. He's one of his companies, Tesla, as you all know, he's doing really well. So let's say you got excited and, want to invest in that company. You see that its share price is around 300, and how are you going to decide whether it's a good time to get in is it a good, price to sort of buy that company at? And that will depend on the, what you call, the valuation of the company. So, when you look at valuation, there's various ways of looking at it. You can look at it, from a fundamental, valuation perspective, where you look at the, present value of its, future cash flows to derive at, what you call the intrinsic value, or you can look at what you call the relative valuation methods. So all that you will learn by now. So to, come up with those investment decisions. And then you basically
Right.
use that
Thanks,
knowledge.
Nuan. Once you are completed your program, your next step would be to become a CFA charter holder. Could you briefly elaborate on becoming a CFA charter holder, and before we move on to the scholarships?
Sure. Sure. I know we are constrained on time, so I'll go quickly on this. So becoming a charter holder, CFA charter holder is relatively straightforward. Okay. So you need to complete, these three, exams. And these exams also, basically each level exams will be conducted in one day. So you have a morning paper and a, afternoon paper, and that's it. So that covers, for each level in one day you'll be done with, all related subjects. So that way it's relatively easy in terms of getting ready and, getting through it. So you do three exams like this, then you finish all your exams, and then you need to obtain your professional work experience. It's roughly, 4,000 hours. You can get it, maybe within 3 to 4 years of experience if you take it from, years perspective. And then, obviously you need 2 to 3 references who attest to, your work. And, you need to meet, rest of the membership requirements, and you become a member. So I don't know how, I mean, some of you may be thinking when you think in terms of the membership, in certain qualifications, you have to write a lot about your experience to, that itself is like a separate program. But in CFA, there's not that much of, details that you need to provide. CFA is trust the individual, ethics and professionalism of the individual, and the people who attest to, that individual. So if you have gotten that experience, that then only you will apply for it. And then, that application process is, relatively straightforward. And anyone who complete the exams and having that, 3-year experience would easily, end up getting the membership within about, 3 to 4 weeks of applying.
Nuan, would you also like to elaborate a bit on the level 1 curriculum and the key focus areas in it?
Okay, I'll go again quickly, on this. So level 1 curriculum. So it requires, as I said earlier, basic knowledge of economics, quantitative methods, financial statements, that most of you have already. You will be learning that in your, first year of your, university degree, or even if you have done any other professional qualification, you have learned these things. So CFA has, earlier had, larger content of content on these, topics, but now it has reduced, taken out the basics and put it as a separate sort of, sort of section. So if anyone want to get, up to speed on these basics, they can go and separately, read these sort of prerequisite reading volumes on quantitative methods, economics and financial statement analysis. So these are the areas that will be, covered in level 1. And on top of this, we obviously have ethics and professional ethics and professionals research.
Right. Perhaps the next question I have is also part of the CFA program. We introduce a practical skills model you may want to touch also on that part of the CFA
Yeah,
program.
no, yeah. So what you see here is, some of the practical skills modules being offered as part of the CFA program. This is not part of the curriculum. None of these are required for you to, pass the exam, but these are very, very handy tools that, available for in CFA, level 1, level 2, and level 3 sort of candidates. This available in the learning, platform. Anyone with the registration can go there and do this. So level 1, you have, two modules. One is on financial modeling and the other one is Python programming fundamentals. So financial modeling, as I said, it'll help you. It'll basically help you to build a financial model, gets your hands, dirty on how to sort of, build a real financial model for a company, right? That is absolutely important if you are to, understand the dynamics, understand these, things that you are learning to properly make sense of it and understand how you can, apply them in practice. That module is going to really help you. Similarly, Python programming fundamentals, it is again, it will be based on, case studies. You can use whatever the data available in the system to, sort of apply the tools made available and, learn it and get the maximum out of, these modules. For level 2, you have analytical skills a module. So here again, you get to sort of, use some of these skills you learn in terms of, your analytical skills to sort of understand various financial statements, uh, to interpret the data and come up with, investment decisions. Similarly, there's a more advanced Python and data science and AI module where you get to learn about applying advanced Python coding, skill to case studies, and data science on data science and AI. These are very very useful even if you are not going not don't do not don't have a what do you call a tech background. You can still go and do these and get a basic understanding. You may not be able to apply them in real world as an expert, but at least you'll be able to talk well with a tech expert in your company if you want to get a some sort of automation project done or some improvements done to your processes. You'll be able to understand, you will be able to communicate with the technology teams better if you learn some of these things, and some of you might even become experts in using them.
Right. Thanks, Don. I think you covered the CFA program related the questions relating to the program, the subjects, all that. Can you move on to the eligibility criteria for, especially for university students? You next slide, I think. Next.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. So eligibility criteria, the key is, especially for undergraduates, if you're doing a 4-year degree, you can actually start, you can do level 1 2 years before the completion of your degree. That is, in the second year itself, you can do your, do level 1 of CFA. So, in terms of preparations, it take anything from, 6 to 9 months to prepare. And we will show you the registration date. So, you can register maybe, 9 to 12 months in advance to get the maximum to save money, as well as, when you see the scholarships, if you want to apply for scholarships, it always helps to, apply early. So you can, anyone who's there, completing their first year or early in the second year, or in second year, latter part of the second year, they can all immediately sort of, apply for CFA. So this is actually this change. Earlier it was, it was only about 11 months before completion of the degree that you could, register the CFA. But now we have relaxed it because it makes a lot of sense. Because if you are able to do your CFA level 1 in second year itself, the feedback we have got is it helps a lot for the students, because in the third year in the university, you get very serious about, your GPA, your tough exams happen in the third year. So you can shift your focus back to your studies, university studies in the third year. And then, maybe towards the latter part of your fourth year, you can do level 2 as well, right? But the important thing, when you learn CFA, which is, at a very advanced level, it will actually complement the stuff that you learn in your bachelor's degree as well. So it'll be very easy for you to handle some of the, related topics in your degree. And especially, when you start looking for an internship, if you have done at least CFA level 1, as I said earlier, you are going to be at a very set of, advantages.
Uh, Thanks to Anna. Could you now move on to about the program cost of the CA program? Maybe you could share some costing related to that.
Sure, Arun. So these slides basically covers the relevant costs for doing CFA. I think the most relevant one for, most of people here is level 1, I believe. So in level 1, you have a one-time enrollment fee, which is $350. And then for exam registrations, there are, two rates. One is for early registration, which is at the moment $990, and the standard registration, which is, $1,290. So anyone who's not applying for a scholarship by, registering early, you can save, close to, $400 by doing that itself. So that's basically the, cost structure for level 1. And when you come to, level 1, level 2, there's no enrollment fee there. You have a registration fee of $990 at the moment. That is the early registration fee, and then the standard registration fee of $1,290. For level 3, it is the early registration fee is $1,090, and the standard registration fee is $1,390.
Thanks. So, and one, it is very important for you to anyone to make a note that there is always the early registration where you get a discount, and for that I think you need to keep a close eye on the key dates for the CFA program registration and also the scholarships. If you have a breakdown of the key dates, if you could mention that as well.
Yeah, so these are the key days, and you can find this information, I think, in the CFA website as well. So you can see there are, application window openings for scholarships and the application window closing dates. Same for, exam registrations. There are, closing dates for, early registration, and then the closing dates for standard registration. If we look at where we are today in November, so the important dates are that, important things to see is scholarships. You can see for level 1, level 2, and level 3, the application window has opened. So 6th of November, the application window opened, and it is going to close on 25th of November. So anyone who's here interested in, getting a scholarship to do the, CFA level 1 or level 2 or level 3, you should look at registering pretty much immediately, so that, you submit your application well before the application window closes. And for exams registrations, the early registration for all 3 levels closes on 29 January 2025. So there's a bit more time to register for some of the exams in late 2025 and early 2026.
Thanks, Noah. So just to reiterate, when it's come to the scholarships, currently for anyone who would like to apply for level 1, level 2, or level 3, the scholarship window is open now, which is open on the 6th of November, and the window will close on the 25th of November. So anyone is interested, any undergraduate, as you rightly mentioned, if you are in the university, and if you are an undergraduate, if you have a financial difficulties or thinking it's opportunity for you to apply for a scholarship, and the window will close on the 25th of November, and then thereafter, the CFA institute decision will be communicated to you whether you are getting a scholarship or not. Yeah, if you are getting, still you have time to register for the exam. In the event if you don't get it, still you have time to, yeah, register for the exams and get the early bird or early registration, so that you will have that advantage. And then thereafter, if you are still willing to continue the CFA program, you have the standard registration until after the 6th of May, if you are intending to sit for the August 2025 exams. I suppose that is very much clear. Uh, so with that, Noan, would you like to elaborate a little more on the scholarships, available scholarships, and the little details of it?
All right. So jumping straight into it. So there are, two main scholarships that are available for candidates. So there's one called Access Scholarship, which is open for anyone, who want to do CFA. It's a need-based scholarship, so anyone who needs who needs support in terms of affording the program fees can apply for an Access Scholarship. So if you get the Access Scholarship, you only have to pay $400 in total, which covers your, actually your one-time registration fee that you saw there, as 350 is going to be waived off. And out of the, the remaining 990 early bird, registration fee, it actually come down to $400. So you only have to spend $400 if you get the Access Scholarship. It is, see, when we look at scholarships, we think it is, a lengthy process to sort of apply and absolutely difficult to get. But I wouldn't say that perception is right when it comes to Access Scholarship. One, in terms of applying, the process is pretty straightforward. Or you provide, whatever the personal data required to, register for the program as a, general candidate. And when it comes to, payment section, there's, two options. It's like you go ahead and pay, or you select the scholarship option. And if you select the scholarship option, it will ask what scholarship. So you say Access Scholarship, and there will be, very limited amount of data information that you need to fill in, right? It's not going to require you writing like pages and pages of sort of, essays and all that. But it will definitely help you to, if you were to apply, say, why are you interested in CFA? You should, before, going and applying, you should look at the curriculum. We saw, some of the topics that are covered, maybe mention a couple of topics that are, that are most of interest to you, right? And then, what is that, the CFA qualification otherwise sort of, interests you. And then, of course, talk about, why you need the financial support, and then, what you expect to do, once you become a CFA charter holder, how you want to contribute to the society, with that, opportunity. So it's just a matter of, filling little bit of information like that. And as I said, it's a need-based scholarship. So CFA won't look for your prior, qualifications. It's not a competitive sort of a scholarship at all. So, and last year, I think we had offered about 60 or so scholarships in total for people in Sri Lanka. And that would have been, a large percentage of the people who applied. So there's a good opportunity for getting a scholarship if you apply for it. And the second scholarship option is the student scholarship option. So this is obviously limited to those students who are part of affiliated, degree programs. So right now, University of Sri Jawadanapura has two departments, I think, one department affiliated, that is the finance department. And then University of Kelaniya has two such, departments which are affiliated. So they have a, higher scholarship number. Um, and University of Colombo has one degree program. University of Moratu has two degree programs which are affiliated. University of Wayamba has one. University of Sabaragamuwa has one. So there are, few universities which has access to, student scholarships. So if you are coming from any of those universities, you can, try to, get one of those scholarships. You need to basically speak to your relevant, faculty representative from the department, and through them sort of apply for the scholarship. They are the people who will nominate other relevant students for the scholarship. And there's also one for professors as well. But again, professors who are basically basically teaching related subjects will have the opportunity to apply for this scholarship, and they have to pay only $600. In both student and professor scholarships, the fee come down to 600 in total.
Thanks, Luan. So just to reiterate that there are three type of scholarships: access scholarship, student scholarship, and professor scholarships. So anyone who is not registered with the CFA exams and not been able to afford the program fees, you have opportunity of applying for access scholarship. And then if you are undergraduate and if you are in the university attached to affiliated university, you can apply for student scholarships. If you are in a academic, if you are in the faculty, you can apply for professor scholarships. And then the amount that you had to pay under each of these scholarships are mentioned here: $400, $600, and $600, etc.
So
Nuan,
it's
with the
it's a big
interest,
saving, Aruna. I mean, I just want to
yes,
add to that.
it
It's
is.
a huge saving, and if you get to do CFA with this sort of, with a scholarship, uh, financially also it compares really well, as opposed to doing any other qualification. Let it be another professional qualification or academic qualification like MBA or MSc. This will be at a very competitive, price point, and be, very affordable for, most students who want to take it. And then you compare it with the global recognition and the opportunity it presents. So it's like a very easy decision to make, anyone who want to, build more skills along the line of, finance.
Right. Okay, thanks. So, Nuan, in addition to the scholarships that are being offered by the CFA Institute, you have the local CFA Society also supporting four candidates, for example, in terms of providing the bank loan
Yeah,
facility and then the credit card facility, etc.
yeah.
I think the CFA society, the candidate council tied up with the HNB Bank, where they provide some
Yes.
not the loan facility, but the credit card facilities at a concession rate. You would like to quickly mention? I think there must be some slide on that.
Yes, 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 it should be that. So see, the bigger picture here is that, anyone looking to, enter the CFA qualification is that there is a strong, small, but very strong and active membership in Sri Lanka. We have about, 250 of members at the moment, and out of them, there's a large number who are actively contributing to the, society and, to the candidates. So as part of the CFA society, there's a society called there's a part called a candidate council, and that candidate council focuses on basically supporting the candidates, doing the CFA exams. As Aruna said, there are multiple, services they offer, like, running exam tips, related events, to, providing uh, what do you call student loans. If you become a candidate council member, you also get what you call a credit card, a branded credit card from HNB, where you can, use it to pay for, CFA exams, and then you can, divide the payment for 12 months, easy pay, 12 months installments without any, interest cost to you. And CFA, the Students Council have also onboarded EduLoan, digital education loan facilitator. So if you register with them, you can, apply for a loan, and they will help you basically find the best sort of, product available for you, so that, you can get your loan fast and at a, the lowest rate. So, these are some of the um, services that the Student Council provides for candidates.
Yeah. Thank you, Nuwan. I think also, it is important for you to mention about our key employers, because employers becoming a very important once you completed the training CFA, providing a job opportunity, etc. So if you could mention, with the interest of the time, we have 1 minute,
Yeah,
top
sure.
global
So I'll do.
employers and the local employers. Yes.
Sure, sure. I don't know. So as I said, CFA being the, most sought after qualification uh, globally by the leading financial institutions in particular. Or the names you see is, just a selection of some of the leading financial institutions who recruit, large number of CFA charter holders. So you see, Allianz, so one of the leading insurance and asset management firm. You have, BMO Financial Group, Credit Suisse, a Europe-based leading private wealth manager. Fidelity, world's, second largest asset manager with over 50 trillion odd assets. JP Morgan Chase, again, one of the largest, banks and asset managers in the world. RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, that is, UBS, Bank of Merrill Lynch, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs. You all know about Goldman Sachs, I'm sure. Morgan Stanley, any, leading asset manager, investment bank, even some of the, leading what do you call audit firms, especially for their, M&A sort of work. They all look for, CFA charter holders. You come to Sri Lanka, what you see here, some of the most recognized, companies in Sri Lanka, especially, in the finance space, capital market space, as well as broadly you have, the conglomerates here, you have the telecoms here, you have some of the leading banks here, some of the supranationals like, the World Bank here. So these are all, sort of recruiters of CFA charter holders. So Equity Knowledge Partners is the, the leading employer of CFA charter holders. Then there is NDB Group. Central Bank of Sri Lanka has large number of CFAs working in the central bank. There's user base, HSBC, Standard Chartered, Linear Wealth. So the list goes on. So, and you see that these are the most leading companies. And if anyone aspires to, get into these companies, CFA can be that passport for you.
Thank you, Noah. I think the time is out now. I think anyone who wants to get more information about the CFA program or the scholarships, you could visit the CFA www.cfainstitute.org and then go to the search and type the CFA program or the scholarship. You will find all the details. If not, you could get in touch with the CFA, the Sahara Society, and we will be able to help you out with all those queries you have. So thank you very much again for those who attended the program, and thank you very much, Nuan, taking your time off despite your busy schedule and to elaborate about the CFA program and the scholarships. So with that, we will conclude the today's session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aruna. Thank you, everyone.